Aerial metagenomics. Now, when you split the word aerial metagenomics, aerial can be related to air, genomics can be related to DNA. So what is that one option which has both air and DNA? It will be option A, right? So therefore, A will be the answer here. Every logic out there, I'll be systematically teaching you. And it's not some showing you random PYQ questions like all the other YouTubers do. No, this will be like a professional course. So first of all, I want to tell you that, as all of you know, the notification has been out. And we have exactly close to 97 days for prelims, right? So you might be tensed as to what you should do, what should be the plan, what is something that I should prioritize, which are the areas I should focus, what should I focus, how should I study each and every subject. So in this session, as all of you have seen I also have seen the thumbnail, I'll be giving you a very comprehensive idea on everything regarding on how you have to clear. Now, first of all, regarding the same, let's discuss what are the common mistakes that all of you should avoid. Okay. Now, the first and the foremost one is running after multiple sources. Right. Let's say, for example, you studied Lakshmikant for polity. Now you are getting close to 90% of the information from Lakshmikant. Now, should you study D.D. Basu or should you focus on your NCRTs? For the rest, 10% content? No. Let's say, for example, you studied PMFIS for environment and you got close to 90% of the content from the PMFIS. Should you read the Shangrace Academy? Should you read the Udan? Or should you read any other material which is not a revision material for the next 20% or the next 10%? No. This is the most important thing. Okay. So always keep your sources very limited. If it's current affairs, one monthly magazine or one annual magazine. Do not ever focus on 2 monthly magazines or 2 standard books. Let's say for modern history, you can go for Spectrum. For example, Economy Pay. You either focus on Nitin Singhania, you either focus on any other source, Ramesh Singh or Vivek Singh. But always keep your sources to one. Right. Always remember, any standard source out there will give you close to 90% of the information. Right. For the just additional 10%, you can focus on any of the test series. Right. When you do a test series, you will understand where you're going wrong, and the rest 10% or the rest 15% knowledge you will get it from the test series. All right. Now, the second one is to ignore the revision cycle. Now, what do I mean by when I say about the revision cycle? You must be going on studying different sources. You'll be studying the PYQ content. You will be studying everything. You won't be having time for your revision. Now, do you think that if you at least don't do close to 3 phases of revision, would you be able to remember all this? It will be definitely impossible for the same for you to remember, right? So always remember, prioritize your revision. At least 3 times you should have revised, at least. I'm not saying that's a maximum. At least 3 times you should have revised Lakshmikant, Spectrum, or all the other sources out there. Now, the third one is to ignore the PYQ content and also the elimination techniques. Now, some of the YouTubers some of the YouTubers say that UPSC have killed elimination techniques. None of the elimination techniques have worked after 2023. UPSC have become very content oriented. But is it the truth? You'll be becoming very naive if you think that UPSC have completely eliminated the logical elimination. The logical elimination still works, and you need to focus on that. You need to significantly focus on the elimination techniques as well. Okay. And the third and the fourth and the final thing is being completely revision centric and not focusing on test. Now, in my 5 years of mentorship, let me tell you, I have seen significant number of students, close to maybe 1,000 students or something. Some of the students out there, what they do is they will keep on revising things. They will revise Lakshmikant 10 times. They will revise Spectrum 10 times. But one thing they fail to do is they don't test themselves. Now, can anyone tell me why is testing important? Why do you think testing yourself is important? Why do you need to attempt a lot of questions? Anyone? Let's make it a bit interactive as well. Why do you think testing is more important? Application of knowledge, right? Good. So application of knowledge, you need to understand where you're going wrong, right? Let's say, for example, you studied fundamental rights and you think that, okay, fine, I know all the aspects of fundamental rights. And you might be having that belief when you go for the exam hall as well. But when you enter the exam hall and you write the UPSC examination, there will be areas, okay, fine. When you see that question, okay, fine, I do not know this, I did not know this. Now, why are you having that feeling in the exam hall? It's because you did not test yourself earlier. If you had taken test, if you had followed a test series, if you had taken maybe practice questions, you would have known that, okay, fine, I do not have significant content as I have imagined. There are certain loopholes. So always, let me tell you, testing yourself is more important, right? At least 3 phases of revision. After that, you need to test yourself. At least, 100 question papers you need to do. Minimum of 100 question papers you need to do. Out of that, at least 25 question papers should be full test as well. Okay. So at least 10,000 question papers, 10,000 questions you need to do. That doesn't mean that you have to equally divide in 10 questions for 10 question papers for polity, 10 questions for economy as an A. Economy, polity, environment, geography should be prioritized for the fact that maximum number of questions come from those areas, right? So don't go for multiple sources. Single source will give you 80% of the information, 90% of the information, just another test series. The test series knowledge is required. Revise yourself. And when you revise, don't study all the lesser important micro themes. For example, polity. Don't revise citizenship multiple times. Don't revise making of the constitution multiple times, because hardly one question has come from all these topics in the last 15 years, right? But what do you need to revise? You need to revise fundamental rights. You need to revise DPSP. You need to revise parliament. Ignoring the PYQ content, never do that, because elimination techniques is a significant area, right? So these are the common mistakes that you should avoid. Now, how can you do the same? So let me tell you, last 100 days, very crucial, the most important time for UPSC Prelims. No random content, revise, learn the PYQ content, and also test yourself very significantly. This should be the broader framework on what your preparation should be based. Clear? Now, so what do you need to do? At least 3 times you have to revise the micro themes and also the current affairs. You have to significantly focus on improving your elimination techniques, studying the content of UPSC. Because, when you even compare the 2025 paper, at least 9 questions have been repeated from the previous year, right? Let's say, for example, Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Body, Aragatta, Portuguese, papaya as a native. Is it introduced by Portuguese? So significant number of questions have been asked by UPSC, which has been repeated. So therefore, prioritize the PYQ content. And one more thing that I told you, at least 100 question papers, and you should be doing close to 25 full test as well. At least try to take a bit of open mocks as well. If you might be coming from different cities, right? You will be coming from Kerala, you'll be coming from all the other places. So at least prioritize 10 to 20, at least 5 to 10 open mocks as well, which will give you a UPSC kind of feeling. I mean, exactly 100% you cannot replicate, but you will get that feeling. Someone else will be sitting next to you. You will be going to a college or a school. So at least 5 to 10 open mocks as well you need to take. Clear? This will be the form. This will be the foundation on what you have to build. Now, how to clear prelims? That's what you are here for, right? And before going into the session, let me tell you, I have cleared 4 prelims consecutively from 2019 to 2023. Okay. I'll be telling you what are the areas you need to focus and how you can do the same, right? So first of all, always remember, in order for you to clear prelims, in order to be on the safer side, you need to get at least 90 or 90 plus. I mean, in the 2025 paper as well, we are expecting the cutoff to be close to, I would say, 92 or 91, right? So as you can see here, if you attempt 100 questions, if you get 60 correct, and let's say you get 40 incorrect as well, you will get 94. If you are attempting 96, close to 59 correct, 37 can be incorrect, you will get 94. If you attempt 80 as well, you need to get 57. So it's more or less safe to say that based on the cutoff from 2022 onwards, 2020 onwards, getting close to 60 correct, or let's say 59 correct, will get you into the mains. You will have the opportunity to write the mains. Now, how will you get 60 correct? That's the most important question. So how will you get 60 correct? Do you think that content will alone give you the 60 marks, 60 correct? No. So at least 30 to 35 questions, or let's say 30, 35, 35, 36 questions, you will get it from your knowledge. You will get it from your content. What about the rest questions? At least 15 to 30 or 15 to 25 will be from the knowledge plus the content. And at least 10 questions, you will get it from your logic. Logic means pure logic. You go for the most specific option. You go for the odd one out. You go for those options which are identical in nature. You go for patterns, let's say 5 pair 3, 6 pair 4, 7 pair 5. When the 4 pair questions, you go with only 2 as the last instance, right? You don't do it in the first instance, but if you're not able to decide between 2 options, what you need to do? You need to go with the patterns. So this is how you get the 60 correct. Now, in this discussion, we'll be focusing on 2 areas here: how to improve your content and also how to improve your logic, because both these things will get you across the 60 hurdle, which you need to get in order for you to qualify prelims. So here, the 3 things, what are the things you need to focus? First of all, the improving content, improving logic, and also improving the strategies. Now, we won't be dealing with the strategies in this part. You can watch my video in YouTube regarding the strategies. Strategies as in how to solve the paper, the different rounds, how many questions you have to attempt, how should you attempt the paper, because this plays a major role, right? When your time management is good, then only you will be able to think. How will your time management be right? When you only mark, underline, circle everything. So strategy is as important as your content. So you can watch a video in YouTube on how to solve the paper in 2 hours, right? So let's deal with 2 important things here: improving content and improving logic. And let's deal with how to improve your content first. Okay. So what should you do in the last 100 days? First one will be, we will split the thing into days of 60 days plan and also in days of 40-day plan. Okay. Now in the first 60 days, okay, let me tell you, 100 days is a significant amount of time. Okay. If you're scoring less, or if you have not started preparing for prelims, let me tell you, this is a time. At least 100 days you need to dedicate for prelims, because the competition is very high. I can see here, I was working in Kerala, I can see here how Delhi is. Competition is something very high here. So you need to put at least 900 days for prelims. So therefore you need to start Abhi. Now is the right time. Start today. So the first 60 days, you can focus on improving your content. Now, how should you do it? You need to have a daily based syllabus. It's not a weekly syllabus, as in I will complete the whole of polity in 10 days. No, you should have a daily plan. This day, I will complete from historical background to the parliamentary system. The second day, I will complete from the philosophy of the constitution, meaning the fundamental rights, DPSP, and the fundamental duties. Third day, I will complete the union executive. Fourth day, I will complete the parliament. Fifth day, I will complete the state legislature. You need to have a daily plan. Only daily plan will motivate you. If you have a 10 days plan, then you will feel that, okay, fine, abhi bhi 10 din baki hai, 9 din baki hai, 8 din baki hai. Aise ho jayega. Okay. The first and the golden rule is have a daily plan. One more thing that you need to have is you need to do daily test as well. Now, when you do only a 10, let's say you completed 10 days and then you do 100 questions for polity. Do you think you would really understand where you're going wrong? Because if you only do 100 question test series, okay, parliament pe sirf uspe 10 question hoga. Will you understand that which area among parliament you are going wrong? Or let's say in the 100 questions only from fundamental rights, hardly 5 questions will be there. Will you clearly understand which area among fundamental rights you are lacking if you only go for 100 question paper test after you have completed polity in like 10 days or 7 days? Would you be able to do it? Will you clearly understand? No. That is the reason why you should have a daily schedule and you should have a daily test series. Okay. It doesn't mean that you have to buy the same. Okay. It's better if you buy the same, but fir bhi, you need to have a daily test series. Okay? You need to have a daily test series and you need to have a daily schedule. That's the most important thing. When you do the daily test series, you will understand what are the areas that you need to learn. What are the areas you are lacking? And then what you do, you revise the same. So a day is complete. You have a schedule for a day, you complete that, you take a test, you will understand where you're going wrong, and then you revise the same. So that completes a day. This is the way each and every day should be in your next 60 days. And after you have completed all the core basic syllabus, let's say, for example, polity, history, economy, environment, everything you complete in the first 60 days coming from here. And in the last 40 days, what you need to do, you won't be reading the whole thing. You won't be reading the citizenship. You won't be reading the making of the constitution. You won't be reading the lesser important areas. all those lesser important areas you need to completely ignore for the last 40 days. And what you need to focus? We'll be focusing on doing the full test. We'll be focusing on doing the PYQs. We will be studying the content, and we will be focusing on the most important micro themes in which UPSC have asked close to 5 questions in the last 10 years. Clear, everyone? So the first phase will be going through the whole book. But even when you go through the whole book, you will be prioritizing the micro themes. In the last 40 days, you completely ignore all the lesser important areas, and you will be focusing on full test, PYQs, content, and improving the content for the micro themes. Clear, everyone? The first 60 days will be making your static strong, and the last 40 days will be making your PYQs, studying according to the PYQs, improving your micro themes, doing full test, doing at least PYQs 3 to 4 times, because you need to get the language of the PYQ. That is something very important here, right? Now, it's always better to go with an institute plan. It's always significantly better to go with an institute plan so that you don't have to make your plan on a daily basis. But roughly, on the basis of number of PYQs asked, you can dedicate accordingly. Polity can be for 10 days. Environment, since mostly current affairs can be for 7 days. Economy for 7 days. Modern history, 2025 by close to 8 questions have come. Before that, only 2 to 3 questions were coming. So therefore 7 days. Geography for 7 days. AMAC, you can do the whole thing for 10 days because hardly 8 questions come from the same. So therefore you should not be dedicating close to 20, 25, 21 days for AMAC, right? Hardly 10 days. Focus mostly on the micro themes. Science and technology, 5 days, and international relations hardly for 5 days. Okay? So this will be a rough plan. It will depend on each and every person out there, because let's say you are very bright in polity, then you don't need 10 days to complete polity. Let's say you're very weak in environment, then you can dedicate close to 14 days for environment. So it will roughly and vary according to each and every person. But roughly, in 90 days, you try to complete everything. Okay? So what do you need to do? Each and every day for the next 60 days, make your static strong, focus on one standard book, do the daily test, understand whichever areas you're lacking. Let's say if you take fundamental rights, you do 20 questions. You understand that, okay, in the fundamental rights 20 questions, I have only got 7 questions right. So you understood that you are weak in fundamental rights, and therefore you revise the same. Or to be specifically say, Article 19 पे 4 क्वेश्चन आ रहा था और मुझे सिर्फ एक ही मिल गया. So you understood that Article 19 पे आप weak है. So therefore you need to focus on the same. So do daily syllabus, complete that, daily test, understand where you are lacking, and revise. This should be the plan for the next 60 days. Okay? And the last 50 days, 40 days, doing full test, focus only on the micro themes, doing the PYQs, and studying the content. Clear, everyone? This will be the rough plan. Now, how to proceed the same? First and the foremost thing is to understand what you need to learn. And when you understand the same, you need to be very systematic. You need to be very scientific. It's not on the basis of any discretion. Rather, you need to understand which are the areas in which UPSC asks significant number of questions, and you need to plan accordingly. You need to study accordingly. So for example, I give you an example on how you have to study ancient history now. So let's say, for example, ancient history. What are the important themes in ancient history? Okay, you need to understand that. Let's say, for example, site is an important theme for ancient history. On the basis of site, what is important? Ashokan sites are important. So at least 3 levels you have to dive deeper. Okay? Ancient history पे कितने क्वेश्चन आते हैं? 2 क्वेश्चन आते हैं हर ईयर. वो 2 क्वेश्चन पे कितने क्वेश्चन किसमें आ गया? साइट्स पे आ गया. वो साइट्स पे कितने क्वेश्चन किसमें आ गया? अशोकन पे आ गया. So at least these 3 types of prioritization we need to have. Okay? So let's say, for example, ancient history पे 2 क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, and ancient history पे सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन sources of literature पे आ गया, sites पे आ गया, as you can see here, and sites पे सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन अशोका पे आ गया. So at least 3 levels you have to dive. That is how you are becoming smart, and not study anything on the basis of discretion, right? Now you understand what are the sources, right? So sources, always keep your sources limited. So one standard book along with the NCRTs. Now, why do you read NCRTs? Always you need to question, okay, fine, from which source is UPSC asking the questions? UPSC is asking from NCERTs, because when you look at the same, most number of questions have been directly taken from words and NCERTs, right? So NCERTs you need to focus along with one standard book, right? Now ancient history pay only 2 questions. You focus on your sources. You can ignore R. Sharma, important micro themes. These are the important micro themes. Abhi literature pay, most number of questions in ancient history have come from literature, 9 questions. Administration, Mauryan, Gupta, 7 questions. Ashokan sites, historic Ashokan and ports, itna other questions. In the Sali civilization pay, 6 questions. Now in the literature, what do you need to focus? When you look at the 9 questions, it's the court poets and the works. It's the important work and the authors, and it's the important books in Buddhism, Jainism. These are the areas you need to focus. So be very systematic. Don't study anything randomly. Okay, fine. Let's do Ubinder Singh. Let's do R. Sharma. Why? How many questions have UPSC asked from Ubinder Singh? So always question yourself. Always question what others are saying. On what basis are you saying this? Right. So always do this. Okay. Always go for 3 depth. What is important? Ancient history not so significant. Only 2 questions come. So therefore, less amount of time should be given for the same. So if only less amount of time should be given for the same, what should I prioritize? I should prioritize literature, because itne other questions I have. Okay, in literature, what should I focus? In literature, UPSC has been asking about these areas. So at least 3 levels you need to dive with respect to each and every topic out there. Clear, everyone? So you don't need to do that. Okay, you never need to analyze everything, because this will be something very hard for you. Every video regarding all the orientations on regarding how you have to study each and every subject has been uploaded on YouTube. These are sessions by me, which you will understand, clear-cut understand what are the areas you need to focus, what are the less important areas, what are the areas you need to ignore, what are the sources. Page by page, you will be able to segregate after you watch my orientations. Okay? Or everything is uploaded in YouTube. You can watch the same. So this will be the process. Identify the sources. What sources पे कौन सी micro theme पे focus करना है, and what are the areas to focus. Clear? After that, okay, now I have identified what are the sources. Now I need to complete polity in 10 days. Or let's say I need to complete Indian economy in 10 days. What do you need to do? You make a plan for yourself. If you don't want to make a plan for your own, you can follow our plan. So we have already made a plan for you. Every day you will have a test, and every day we have already uploaded that question papers. You can do, after you study that particular syllabus, you can do the test, and you can watch my test discussion as well. Okay, so you study a daily syllabus, you do the test, you understand whichever areas you are lacking, and then you revise the same, so that daily syllabus is completed. Right. So incorrect answers, understanding which are the loops, which are the micro themes that you are lacking, and then revise the same. This will be the most important thing for you to improve your content. Okay? Identifying the sources, identifying the areas to focus, वो study करना है on the basis of what I said in the orientation. After that, you test yourself, you understand these are the areas you have to focus more, and then you revise those areas which you made it incorrect. Repeat last set, sir. One thing I want to say is, you need to have a daily syllabus. On the basis of that, first you watch the orientations of mine. After that, you do the daily syllabus, and then after you complete the daily syllabus, you do the daily test. You will understand, okay, fine, these are the areas in which I don't have a clarity. These are the areas, okay, fine, I do not have itnas or a clarity. My marks, my accuracy in this particular area, in fundamental rights, or let's say in some other portions, was very less. So therefore, you revise those portions once again. That's it. That's how you need to improve your content for the next 60 days. Okay? Can we use Udan static? Oh, definitely. Udan is a very good material for almost all the sources out there. It depends on different things. Udan plus NCERTs for ancient would be good. For medieval, it would be good. Modern history, Udan, I don't think it will be good. For spectrum, you can focus on. Okay, so this was the content part. Now, close to 30-35 questions, as I said, you will get from the content. Now, what is the second thing you have to focus? What is the second thing you have to focus? People say that content is the king, but who's the queen of UPSC? queen of UPSC will be the elimination techniques, right? So that is something that does the micro themes has explanation. Micro themes does not have explanation. Micro themes is a document for just you to identify what are the areas you need to focus. And it has given all the PYQs as well, so that you will get a clarity on these are the areas I need to focus. PYQ पे content explanation नहीं है. We have just given the answer to that. Yeah, Uddan for economy, I don't think. Economy, you need to go for the 3 big books: Nitin Singhania, Vivek Singh, or Ramesh Singh. Or if you have watched Munnar classes, that's also fine. Now, moving on to the next most important topic. So this should be your target. Okay. Complete everything by April 10th. Because all the institute out there, especially Civilsdaily, will start the test series on close to April 1st week. So complete everything by April 10th, and then focus on completing everything by April 10th. After that, you need to do at least 1 month of full test, close to 25 papers every day, or every alternative day. You need to do a full test, at least 20-25 full tests you need to do. So complete every subject, every topic, revise everything by April 10th, and after that, you are ready to attempt the full test. And display at least 5 to 10 will be the open marks as well. Clear? CSAT as well, you need to do accordingly. Okay? Now, second most important thing, as I said, in the 60 questions, 30-35 will be the content. The other questions you will get from the elimination techniques. People actually don't prioritize elimination. I don't know the reason why. Maybe after 2023, all of you have this dilemma that, or all of you have this fear that, okay, fine, ये सब sell करने के लिए कुछ भी बोल रहा है YouTubers, ये सब क्या बोल रहा है. Elimination, this works. Let me tell you. Even if I write tomorrow, I know that I am going to clear UPSC. That's my confidence. And why do I have that confidence? It's because that I have a very good, strong foundation, and my logical eliminations are pretty good. That is a confidence that I should have. Okay, you need to understand when UPSC asks a question. Okay, fine. This is where UPSC will counter, and UPSC will counter. Mostly 90% of the cases, UPSC will counter. That is the confidence that elimination techniques will give you. Even if you don't know anything, when a question comes, you will be able to face the same. Okay. So the second thing is to improve the elimination techniques. As I told earlier, at least 60 to be correct, 15-20 will be from the logic. Okay, and I'll show you examples regarding the same. In 2023, close to 38 questions could have been solved logically. 2024 pay close to 41, and 2025 pay close to 37 questions could have been solved logically. That's the importance that logical and elimination techniques are. Now, I'm not bluffing here. You might think that, sir, 37, don't bluff too much. No, that's a question again. Everything is systematic and factual here. I'll show you the examples regarding the same. These are all 2025 questions, right? You can see here 67 question has the word single-handedly. 29 has the word everywhere. 94 has the word only. Here you can go with your kuch na kuch hoga, right? Can UPSC say that not even 0.0001 gram is not there in cigarette butts? Eye-glass lenses, carters, kuch na kuch hoga, right? Some, no power. In all the states, there is no mention of political party. There is no regulatory body. At least something will be there. Level 2, we go with the patterns. 5/3, binding declaration. Are declarations binding? No. 4/2, when 4 big statements come, all the 4 will not be the answer. It will be only 3. 6/4, 6/4, 5/3, going with the patterns. Level 3, it will be very hard for me to explain in this short period of time, but let me tell you, there is a purpose, there is a significant purpose as to why UPSC introduced the word usually here. Do you think that UPSC simply uses such vocabularies? Usually, primarily, mainly, significantly. Do you think UPSC is chumma bluffing the same? No. Each and every word introduced by UPSC has a purpose that you need to identify. Now, in this question, 31st question, why did UPSC introduce studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from a cement industry contribute to more than 5%? UPSC could have said just 1%, right? Or UPSC could have just said that studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry contribute to carbon dioxide emissions. Why did UPSC introduce the word 5% there? Everything has a purpose. Each and every word introduced by UPSC, can, may, or, everything has a purpose. You need to understand that, right? Several folds are here. Support and encourage. These are also level 4 logics, wherein you need to have a content in order to solve the same. Okay. All these were logical questions. Okay. So what I want to say is, level 1 questions, wherein I discuss first, all, may, single-handedly, everywhere, all these different things, that you will be able to solve, even if you don't know anything. Even if, it's all basic logic. When no comes, you make it incorrect. When all comes, you make it incorrect. When can comes, it improves the probability. But the level 2, maybe level 2 as well. You go with the patterns. But the level 3 and the level 4, that is actually a bit hard. Now, that is why you need to go for some kind of training. You need to improve on the same. Because you spend itna sara time and effort. You spend close to itna sara hours studying 8 hours of static or 10 hours of 12 hours of, you grind yourself and study the content to get that close to 35 questions. And most of the aspirants don't spend at least even 10 hours or even 20 hours or even 30 hours of their whole entire UPSC journey just to improve the UPSC, just to improve the logical and elimination techniques. Let me tell you, if you don't do the same, it will be a very big blunder, because others are doing it, others are significantly focusing on elimination. Therefore, that's why you also need to do the same. Because if you invest close to 20 hours or even 50 hours to improve the elimination, you will get close to 10 to 15 extra questions. That's like studying another subject, right? So that is why you need to focus on your elimination techniques. Okay, because you will have that clarity, you will have that confidence when you enter the exam hall if you learn the same, right? So the difference between 60-65, or let's say you are scoring a B70 or a D75, it's not about improving the content. Obviously, it's there improving the content, but it also means that it's about better decision making. Okay. It's also about improving elimination techniques. Okay. Obviously, you need content. Logical, mostly we take logical elimination according to the content only. Right? So you need to improve your elimination. Okay. You need to always question yourself. Right. This was a question asked in 2024. Do you think this was a content-based question? Pumped storage hydropower. Why did UPSC ask this question? UPSC asked this question in order to test your elimination techniques, right? Now, when you dissect the word, what do you get? You'll have 3 different words, right? You have pumped, storage, and hydropower. Then what do? You try to form a meaning in your mind. Now, what would be pumped, storage, hydropower? You're pumping water, you're storing it somewhere, and the water you have stored, you will be using for a later purpose, right? Pump, storage, hydropower means you're pumping the water somewhere, you're storing it somewhere, and the stored water will be used for hydropower in the later cases. So then what will be the answer here? C. Okay, all of you know the same, right? So here, long duration energy storage means that you're storing water for a long time, which will be used for energy later. So therefore, long duration will be the answer. Right. Now try this one. Sorry. This is the way you have to think. What about this one? Aerial metagenomics. Now, when you split the word aerial metagenomics, aerial can be related to air, genomics can be related to DNA. So what is that one option which has both air and DNA? It will be option A, right? So therefore, A will be the answer here. Why did UPSC introduce the word several folds? UPSC could have just said that, okay, fine. Well oxygenated surface water contains more or contains higher oxygen than atmospheric air. Why did UPSC introduce the word several folds and not more or just higher oxygen? Everything has a purpose, right? Why did UPSC introduce the word mainly here? In a pressure cooker, the temperature at which the cook is cooked depends mainly upon which of the following. Why mainly? UPSC could have just said that the pressure cooker, the temperature with the food cookers depends upon which of the following. Why did they introduce the word mainly? So this is something that all of us should focus on. And this is what I'm trying to teach here in this logical elimination course. Okay. So here, significantly improve your word identification, option analysis, logical elimination, and also your risk management. Now, how this course works is, you will have, first of all, 10 hours of foundation lectures, wherein I'll be teaching you everything regarding the general and specific statements, regarding multiple facts, regarding all the extreme words, what to do when it is introduced in the statement, it is introduced in the question, it is introduced in the topic, how to do word deconstruction, how to identify specific statements, how to identify identical statements, how to identify complementary, contradictory statements, how to group the statements. Every logic out there, I'll be systematically teaching you. And it's not some showing you random PYQ questions like all the other YouTubers do. No, this will be like a professional course. We'll be doing, firstly, I'll be helping you to understand what are general and specific statements. After that, I'll be telling you how you have to think. You have to think with respect to geography. You have to think with respect to future-based approach. You have to think with respect to 1%, quantity-based. So I'll be giving you the clear-cut thought process regarding the same. Okay? And after the 5 foundation lectures are completed, we'll be doing PYQs from 2025 to 2015, 10 years of PYQ. When you do the same along with me and watch my discussion, you will understand, okay, fine, this was the way you have to think. Okay, this is the way you have to think. Your thought process will significantly get cleared. And also to test whether you have understood all these logics, we'll be doing close to 100 logical questions as well. Now, this will be completely non-PYQ based questions. When you do the same, you will understand whether you have understood the logics or not. Okay? So these are the 3 main components of the logical and elimination lectures, logical and elimination course. Okay? Now, it's both online and it's recordable. So Abhi, we are doing the 2022, but you don't have to worry. You can watch the recorded versions, complete them at the earliest, and then you can join. Or then even if the PYQs you can watch later. It will be always available in your portal and has a validity till 2026 December. Okay. These are the PYQ worksheets we do. So we have 4 PYQ worksheets on the basis of 25 questions each. So foundation lectures, doing of all the PYQs from 2025 to 2015, plus solving the non-PYQ worksheets. Only this is enough, let me tell you. You don't have to look elsewhere in order to improve your elimination. We'll be systematically doing each and every question, identifying what are the things you have to focus, what are the logic you have to apply here. Everything we'll be doing it here. Okay. So watch the foundation lectures, do the PYQs, and do the worksheet. This is all is required. Okay. And always remember something. Most of the students out there miss by a margin of close to 5 to 10 marks. Don't be that person. Don't be naive. Logical elimination works. Don't ever turn your head against the same. Okay? Because this will significantly boost your marks, and I can guarantee you that. Because I have been mentoring for the last 5 years. I have been working in Kerala. Last year, I had close to 66 mentees. Out of that, 19 students cleared. For the fact that CSAT was a bit hard for some of them, or at least 20-30 people would have cleared, but for the fact that 19 students have cleared because they have mastered in this elimination techniques. Okay. So we make you also, regarding the Dominator series as well, one thing I want to say is that we make you think right by asking the right questions. So when you do our questions, you will understand that all the UPSC logics, be it the word deconstruction, be it the extreme words, mainly, primarily, everything, whatever logic that UPSC follows, we will be testing you here, so that after you watch the foundation lectures, when you do our papers, you will understand how you will be able to do it. Okay? Everything, all the logics that UPSC introduces, we are introducing in our test series as well. Be it the level 1, be it the level 2, and everything. Okay? So watch the foundation lectures, do the Dominate test series, so your content is solved. Dominate also gives you the daily schedule. Dominate gives you the orientations. Dominate give you the test discussions, which I mostly discuss the elimination. So that's the content part. In case of logic as well, we are investing close to 50 hours for the same. So everything, in my opinion, Dominate will be a one-stop solution for the same.